Hey everyone, you're watching Anime Jackson, and today in this video I'm talking about the elements that it takes for an anime to be good, and going through them, like what's more important and whatnot. So yeah, let's get to it. So firstly, I'm presuming everyone here, considering that this is an anime related video, has seen at least a anime series. But then for those of us that have seen multiple, we've seen some good ones and some bad ones, and not saying that person that's only seen one anime series has seen a good one, they may have seen a bad one. But so what does it take? Like, with all these anime series out there, what is it that makes them good and what makes them bad? What do they need to have been done correctly? So yeah, let's get through each element that needs to be done correctly, and then I'm going to go through all of them at the end, like just list the elements, and I'm going to say like what's the highest, what's more important and what's not more important. So yeah, first things first is the art style. Now, one can argue that the art style isn't everything, and yes, that's true, but there's one thing that the art style is really important for, and that's at the start of the series. Because before you get to the story, before you really get to anything, before you actually figure out if you like the show or not, you see the art style first. Usually before they even talk, you see the art style. So with that, the art style does play a major role. Okay, the series as a whole, the art style isn't the most important thing, but having a nice art style is still good, and it's pleasing to actually watch. Like, if you watch an anime with a bad art style, it's harder to watch at first because the art style doesn't look as nice in comparison to an anime that has a good looking art style. And in that sense, it's similar to how if meal that you get at a restaurant doesn't look good, you're going to think that it's a bad meal because you eat with your eyes first before you eat with your mouth. Your eyes tell you if the food's going to be good or not. And not only that, the art style does a fair bit because they got all the promo videos and the posters as well. All the promotional material that happens before the anime actually airs is used, and it uses the anime's art style. So the art style does play a big role into the interest in getting people to watch it. Next thing is the story. Now, the more unique the story, the better, in my opinion. But there are ways that you can have two stories that are similar and they still feel different because things have been done differently. And while having many stories that seem similar, or many pieces of the show that seem similar, it's more so, while it can be annoying watching 3 different anime and they all have very similar aspects, but story-wise they should be different. But an anime that is easy to follow is going to be easier to watch. Also, an anime that has depth to its content is also a good thing, because that just proves longevity for that series. If it can get enough people watching it, well, then it's going to be going around for a long time. If an anime can get the right mix of depth to its content and it being easy to follow, well, then it's going to be a bloody good story, because it will just go from there. But if the story isn't easy to follow and doesn't have depth to its content, well, then it's going to be hard to watch, because you're going to go, what the hell's going on? Also, the pacing of the story is a pretty important factor, because if the story goes too fast, well, then people aren't going to keep up. It's going to be really hard to handle that much information going through at once. But if the story is too slow, it becomes boring. So if it has that perfect mix of it being in that perfect spot, of it's not too fast, not too slow, and it's interesting, it's not boring, and then everything should really flow. It's finding the right balance of everything for the story, and that can be pretty hard to find. And story events are really important as well, because that helps keep things interesting, and that helps leads the viewer from point A to point B and from each arc. And if these events can follow along almost seamlessly, well, then it really does help it being easy to follow as well. The anime's setting, the world that each anime is in, plays a big role into if an anime is going to be good or not. Again, like with the story, the more unique the setting, the better, but that doesn't always work. Made anime like Attack on Titan popular, the setting was different. It had a gripping story as well, but the setting was out of the normal. Same with anime like Sword Art Online. While we already had Dot Hack, but Sword Art Online was fresher, and Sword Art Online just did things its own way, I guess, in that sense. And with it being a newer series, it was also a breakthrough series for some anime watchers. It was their first anime that they saw, but it had a all-rightish story, but the setting was good because it was a here and a now setting of it being a VR MMO and people kind of going, we want that. So it was a setting that actually interests people. So setting can play a pretty big role into how good and interesting an anime can actually be. The fourth thing is openings and closings. Now, some people like me might just skip them entirely. Now, an opening can actually show like who's going to fight who. It can help you introduce you to characters without names being thrown at you. And well, that there is actually quite helpful for some people. But also, let's say it's a long-running series or you're going from like season 1 to season 2, an opening can actually help differentiate the different story arc or the different anime season. Openings can play a big role, not exactly for how good it is, but in terms of ease of understanding what's going on. And with closings, like openings, they can be skipped, but closings allow you to go, I like the anime from the studio, let's see if they have another anime that I like the look of. Or you could even go, I like this character, let's find who their voice actor is or actress, and then I can go find another anime that I may like that they're in. So that's how closings can be helpful. While not exactly good for that one particular anime, it can be good for other animes. Closings allow you to research and find other anime, if you're willing to put the time into that. Next is the ending. Now, personally to me, I don't really think an ending will determine if a series is good or bad. To me, a good ending is just a good ending, and a bad ending is a bad ending. It doesn't mean that the whole anime season, the whole anime series as a whole is good or is bad. But there's some people out there that would be petty enough that a bad ending would ruin the anime for them. Some of these studios, I don't exactly get the control for the ending because it could be how the original work ended for series, whether it be the manga, light novel, video game, doesn't really matter. If the original work ended a series like that, well then that's how they're going to do it. But for some other anime, like those that go from some form of other source material for the anime series or original anime where they start off here interest level and amazement level for the viewer, and while the viewer's standard is still up here, the anime level, I guess, droops down, and therefore the ending at times isn't as good as what the viewer expected it would be. For ending to be considered good or bad, to me that's just something up to the individual viewer. What I think might be a good ending, you may not think might be a good ending, and so on. Everyone's individual and we all have our own opinions. Ending is a subjective matter to the individual, whether it's good or not. But I thought I should add it because there are quite petty people out there. Lastly is characters and character development, everything character related. Having characters that people can relate to are pretty much a must have for a good series. If someone can relate to the character or feel their emotions more so, is rather important, and it can make or break the series. Characters can make a good story bad, or can make a bit of a iffy story in terms of how good it is good. Its characters are good, people are going to like it, kind of thing. But then at the same time, while we want to relate to the characters, we also want to see them grow. We want to see them grow up, both physically and mentally. And that's where character development comes in. Character development is also very important because for some people, having a relatable character that has their major character development can be a, you know what, I can do it too kind of thing. But for anime itself, it can be at times rather annoying having a character be a cocky little arsehole episode 1 and at the end still be a cocky little arsehole in comparison to episode 1 being cocky little arsehole and last episode being just an arsehole or just cocky. Some form of character development is highly regarded if a series wants to be good, I guess. And sticking with characters, the voice actors and actresses that the anime studio picks for the characters also plays an important part. Like with Black Clover, how at the start everyone thought that Asta's voice actor was just really annoying. I don't know if people still think that, but some people do. I've kind of gotten used to it. I wouldn't say that I like the voice actor as much as I have grown to accept that that's just how it's going to be. unfortunately. Yeah, voice actors and actresses can play a part in how good an anime can and can't be. While usually the anime studios hit the nail perfectly in terms of getting the right voice actor and voice actress, at times mistakes happen and who they thought was the right fit isn't exactly the right fit, at least from the international anime community's point of view. So yeah, there's all the elements that I reckon are somewhat important for an anime to be, if they have its elements done right, even some of them, well then the anime should be pretty good. Like, I don't think any anime can get all these elements perfect, but yeah, just to have them done mostly right is a good thing. But let's get to going from least importance to most important. Firstly, the least importance I would say is openings and closings. They can be skipped, not necessarily needed, but they do show things that can be helpful for the anime, like with the openings showcasing kind of what's going to happen, and closings, well, being pretty good advertisement for the studio and the voice actors and actresses and everyone. Personally, for me, the next thing is the ending. The ending is a small part of the series as a whole. That's just how I see it. It's not exactly crucial to say that the series is good while the series has to have an ending. I do reckon it's more correct to say that a bad ending is just a bad ending and not that the series is bad. If the series is good and has a crappy ending, well then it's just a crappy ending. The next thing is the voice actors and voice actresses. Usually anime studios do get the right voice actor and actress, but at times they do get it wrong, and when they do get it wrong, it can harm the series. Then we have the setting. I do reckon that a bad setting can be masked by a good story, but at the same time, a good setting can mask a bad story somewhat. I would say that the setting, while anime do need some form of setting, it's not the most important thing that makes it good, but having a more unique setting does help any anime tremendously. Next is character development. Character development helps the story progress, because if the characters get better and better as time goes by, then the story can actually do more and more things. But then at times, some series they have pretty important characters or minor characters that have an important role, and you don't really get any character development for them because they are already at their peak. They're of an age of they've already done all this developments themselves before the series actually started. So while character development is important to have for some characters, at times it's just not necessary for all of them. The fourth most important thing would have to be the art. The art is the first thing you see. Like I said at the start of the video, you see it in the promotional videos, you see it in posters, you see it when the first episode airs. And you see the art before the story really sets in, before you really get to know the characters, before character development happens, before really anything happens. You get art. So with that, I'm putting the art at the fourth most important thing. I wouldn't say having good art is completely necessary, more so that it's polished and it's of a level that is pretty standard for the time frame that the anime is actually airing. If they get the time to make the art style better, well then that only helps the series. Some people watch an anime for pretty art. After art style, we have story pacing. I reckon that if the pacing is done right for the story, it can do wonders for that anime. I also do reckon that if the pacing is done wrong, it can really hinder. Like Black Clover that I mentioned before for the voice actors. To me, it moved way too slow, especially at the start, where it could have gone much further, much quicker. But we can't control what an anime studio decides to do with the story pacing, unfortunately. If it could, it'd be great, but well, we can't. The second most important thing is characters. Likeable characters are essential. Being able to relate to a character either through experiences that the viewer have experienced themselves, while for some anime that can be difficult considering the supernatural powers and abilities that some of these series do showcase. But even to find characters that are similar to oneself can be a good thing, because it helps you understand what's going through their head, what emotions they're feeling, and can help an anime feel a little bit more real. Lastly, the most important thing is the story. A good story is essential for a good anime. You look at some of the best anime over the years, like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Death Note, they've got exceptional stories. But for some stories, They get things wrong, and at times I reckon that they try to be funny at moments that they shouldn't be, or they're trying to be funny too much, where instead they should be focusing a little bit more on the story. But yeah, usually I find if a story is crap, then the anime is crap and harder to like. But if the story is good, then the anime usually is good as well, because a good story is that favorable for an anime that it's the most necessary thing for an anime to be good. Now, like I said before, that no anime is perfect when it comes to having all these down packed, but to have the majority pretty good, or to have some things perfect and other things pretty good, is usually just all that they need to be considered good. One thing to remember is that for an anime to be good, like seeing something as interesting and good or bad or crap and whatnot is subjective. We're individuals. What I find good, you may not. But I just want to go through, if not all of the elements, the majority of them that I thought was actually important for an anime to have to be considered good or great or amazing, or go through the elements that an anime may be missing if the anime is crap and whatnot. Take it how you will. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you think that I have missed out an element, or if you would put, like, let's say, art at the most important thing, or ending at most important, if you would mix the order around. Yeah. If you like this video, give it a like or comment down in the comment section below. If you want to see more content by me, then check out my channel. You might find another video or two that you like the look of. Or consider subscribing to me. It'd be a great help to me, and you get to stay up to date for when I upload more videos. Again, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time in the next video. See ya.